Alright guys, welcome back to another video on full-time purpose. Victor and I are here again with you. Today, we're going to be sharing with you 3 ways to get noticed on YouTube in 2018. Now, some people may think, they may look around and say, oh, is it the right time to get on YouTube? And it may seem like it's a little bit too congested, but the truth is right now is the best time to get on YouTube because there are more and more people coming to YouTube right now more than ever before because there are, I think, about 3.5 billion people over the next 10 years that are going to be coming online. So what that means is you may look around and say, well, how do I get noticed on YouTube once I start making videos? Well, what Victor and I are going to share with you are the top 3 ways that we use to personally get noticed and ways that still work to this day, that if you apply these, you will be more likely to get noticed on YouTube and you'll be able to spread your message in a very powerful way. Now, before we do that, we have a free training, and in that free training, we show how we quickly grew our YouTube channel. That's one thing that we show in the training, and it's absolutely free. It'll show you also how to make money online with a smaller YouTube audience so that you can scale it up and grow as quickly as you can. And in order to get that free training, all you got to do is click in the top of the description box below. You'll see a link there, and we will send you the free training. That's like an hour long. It'll show you a whole bunch of different stuff with how we have become successful full-time YouTubers and also how to grow the YouTube online as well. So with that being said, we'll go ahead. I'll let Victor take the first one of what you need to do to get noticed on YouTube.
Yeah, so number 1 is to be boldly and unapologetically yourself. Meaning, a lot of people, I think, when they come onto YouTube, they're self-conscious about saying the wrong thing, coming off the wrong way, rubbing someone the wrong way, but you want to just be bold, be like borderline cocky without actually being cocky. You just want to, I mean, for one, you should be speaking about topics that you know anyway. So I told someone in our coaching group the other day, I said, dude, allow yourself to speak authoritatively about subjects that you know about. Don't worry about rustling up anyone's feathers, and just be really bold and authentic and really try to come out of your shell. Now, I know it's not easy. I know if you're starting out, those nerves can be there and they can be a formidable force when you're trying to do that. But you got to do it. So you got to find ways to come out of your shell. So what I would do sometimes is psych myself up. Even to this day, before I shoot a video, sometimes I'll listen to certain music that produces within me the feeling of passion. So I can sort of have that up there. So when I hit play, it's, hey everybody, like that. So you just got to it's better to upset people and to be too much for some people than to be
monotone, yeah.
Yes.
And not have that kind of personality that just kind of stands out.
Yeah.
And this is something I realized also, and even now, I'm still realizing this more and more, but in the beginning, I was kind of almost afraid to share some of my more esoteric ideas. Like I teach on my YouTube channel, the law of attraction, and some of the stuff that I teach, there's sometimes I'm passionate about learning and understanding certain parts of the process that aren't as talked about in the law of attraction niche community, or just in the spiritual awakening community in general. And I've realized that the funny thing is, the more I share my actual, authentic, unique perspective, the more people actually love it. And not just that, it gives people more of a reason to follow me because I'm not going to be the same as every other law of attraction channel that you find. So don't be afraid to be different, because a lot of times what makes you different is what's going to be the reason people actually follow you, because you're not under the radar anymore. You're somebody that's like, oh, it's almost like a pattern interrupt. They see you and they're like, oh, he's got a unique perspective that I've never really heard before, or it's expressed in a certain way that then is something that's different, that also is something that intrigues them, so then they want to follow you. So I'm learning more and more, the more I can be my unique self and the more that I can share what I authentically am thinking about, the more people not only love it, but the more I actually get noticed to begin with, because it's not the same YouTube videos that's being shared. It's something that kind of stands out and makes people click on it. So yeah, did you want one more?
Answer. So one way that can help with this is to be somewhat clear of who you're speaking with. Like, I know when I come out with my YouTube videos, I talk about the spiritual awakening process, which many people think, like, what the hell is that? But I don't come out like thinking I'm going to be talking to everybody. I speak literally to the people I know will know what I'm talking about, will resonate with it, so I can just be very honest and upfront and not, you know, be careful with my words. And again, I'm willing to accept that some people will be very turned off by it, but that allows me to really come out of my shell. So that little word of the wise,
good advice.
Get kind of clear of who you're talking to, and then talk accordingly.
Yeah, and almost you can, sometimes what I do when I'm talking to the camera, when I first started talking to the camera as well, I would look into the camera and imagine that I was talking to like a good friend that understood what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Or like my little brothers who's really into this stuff.
Really?
And he loves hearing about it. So I just imagined I was almost talking to him, and I just became authentic, you know? So that may help you become more relaxed and more authentic, picturing yourself talk to the camera as if you're talking to a friend, because that friend gets you, and a friend that gets you, of course.
Real last thing.
Yeah.
We can move on to step 2 finally.
Okay.
What I used to do, and I sometimes still do, is I will speak to my younger self. I'll try to like speak in a way, like in a tone that like my lesser experienced self would have needed to hear at that time.
Oh, that's a good way to do it,
it's like
too.
real easy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the second one that we want to share with you on how to get noticed on YouTube in 2018 is understanding the power of committing to consistency. So this actually has to do with the algorithm of YouTube in general. The way the YouTube algorithm works is the more consistently you post content, the more YouTube is willing to put your videos out to other people. So it almost is like YouTube will reward you the more videos that you put out there. And that's something that I realized, and honestly, I went from, in 2017, in the beginning of January or February, I had 3,000 subscribers. And I made one choice, one commitment, that I was going to start making more videos, and I started going daily. And all of a sudden, YouTube started to promote my channel more. I started to rank for certain videos, and things started to happen, and things happened very fast up until a little over a year and a half. You know, it's been like a year and a half now. A year and a half later, I have 300 and something thousand subs. That's how quick things can happen when you commit to consistency. Also, what you do is you give people the ability to find you and to know that you're going to be there. Because if I were to make one video, and then what I used to do is made one video, and then like a week or two later I'd make another video, random, not at a certain time, people never knew when to expect me, so therefore it was just like this random thing that would kind of like be put out there. But now I have consistency, and with the consistent time, people know every day at 10:30 in the morning, Aaron's going to have a new video. And if I don't, there was once or twice where I couldn't upload a video or something happened, and I had to upload it a couple hours later for that day. People were like, where's Aaron? I'd get messages from people, where's Aaron's video? People become consistent to it. So the more consistent you are and the more you put into it, the more the YouTube algorithm will reward you for it. So that's something that I found that totally changed my business, that has allowed, or you know, the growth on YouTube is the more I put in, the more I get out, and you get rewarded based on how much you put into it. YouTube will match you and then suggest your videos out to more people, because YouTube sees, hey, this person is working and really encouraging people to get onto YouTube or making content, so therefore we want to promote them.
Yeah, and I think this falls nicely under our sort of underlying tone and theme of boldness, which is sort of why that will work, is because everybody literally is sort of paralyzed by their nerves when you share on YouTube. It's not easy, but the bold ones will, again, allow themselves to come out of their shell and then push past the nerves of, I don't want to spam people, people won't like me, I don't want to post too much, and be very bold. And like you said, it works with the algorithm, and it also it's a mentality. Like if you want to stand out, you have to go above and beyond what the masses and the normal people will do. You got to be something more bold, essentially.
Yep. And
real quick, I had a nice little metaphor that popped in my head that I think is fitting. So I have this new fountain in my backyard, right? There's a couple little buckets, and there's a pump, and the pump pumps water into this top thing, and then once there's a threshold met, then the water spills out, and it kind of completes the circuit. A lot of people, it's like they turn that switch on for a little while, the pumping up water into that top one, and it starts to fill, and then they stop, and they unplug it. You want to pop, pop, pop. Keep doing that so the water comes up, overflows, and finally spills over.
I like that.
Do you? I felt like, as I said, it came out very
I like that.
weak.
Yeah, it reminds me of like priming, as weird as this sounds, priming like a lawnmower. You have to prime the lawnmower 2 or 3 times, but if you don't prime it, it's not going to start.
Or you do it once every 6 hours.
Or even,
it's not enough.
have you ever seen the meme where it's like the guy that's like has a pickaxe and he's going through the ground, and it shows that at the very end he's like pickaxe through in the ground. At the very end you see all this gold, and he has just this much more to go. He's been going, and he only has this much more to go. But you see some guy frivolously hitting on it, about to hit the gold, and there's another guy that's walking away with his pickaxe over his back like he was defeated. Sometimes the difference is just that little bit more consistency you could put in, that everything begins to pop. You have to trust the process, because there may be gold at the end of there with just a little bit thin layer that you have to keep chipping away at, and you'll never know if you give up beforehand and just walk away from it because the process didn't work. The process works, you just have to be consistent with it.
And that's like a perfect analogy for YouTube, because it's like that. When you started going daily, you popped.
Yeah.
The first time I ever popped a video, in fact I got 1,500 subscribers in one day, it's when I just started going daily, and then boom. So I think we've built our case nicely at that second point. And point number 3 is collaborations. It's a very resourceful way of getting noticed, because someone else can introduce you to their entire audience. Now, you guys might have heard that, so Aaron and I are going to get a little more specific here and sort of tell you like how to reach out to people, because me and him get reached out to constantly, several times a week probably, people wanting to collab with us. But honestly, we ignore, I would say, 95% of the requests, because they're not done politely. They're not really considering the hard work we've done. So we're going to kind of help you out and say, how do you reach out to people? For one, I would not reach out to people way ahead of you, but you do want to reach out to people maybe a little bit ahead of you. You want to reach out with open arms and be kind of kind and appreciative of their time, and acknowledging that they would be, in a sense, doing you a favor. And if anything, find if you can make it a win or a victory or something positive for them. So I would just be very respectful and kind. And a lot of people, they reach out to us almost with like the feeling like we will be grateful to do this for them. But me and Aaron have busted our ass. We put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into what we do. We're not going to just let anyone piggyback off us. But if someone's really cool and genuine and polite, I've hooked other people up in the past by sort of promoting them a little bit on my channel or my other platforms. So anything you want to add to that? Yeah, when I was first growing on YouTube, I think I just now started to pop. Victor had like 50,000 subs at the time, so this was a long time ago. I was just starting to grow. I think I had like 22,000 subs or whatever. And when I reached out to Victor with the intentions not of, hey man, do you want to put me on your channel or whatnot. I reached out to Victor and it was like, hey man, if you ever, like, we're in a similar niche and stuff, if you ever want to talk about business, if you ever want to brainstorm ideas, and I'll share what I know and you share what you know. It was more of like this friendship first than it was just, hey man, do you want me on your channel? Do you want to promote me? You know what I mean? It was a different mentality. So Victor and I's relationship as friends started from a YouTube collaboration. So you never know how it can go. But when we did it, we just reached out as friends, and then eventually he was coming to Vegas, so then we eventually did videos together, and now that's evolved to now where we do YouTube channels together. But nonetheless, it's something that you want to think of the context of the person you're reaching out to. So when people reach out to me, if they would reach out and they could somehow save me time, now doesn't mean like, hey, you want to upload my video to your channel, I'll save you time, but it's more so, what am I interested in, and what do I think about? I think about how I can add value to my audience. So if someone's like, hey, this will add a lot of value, if you want, we could do something like this in a certain way that's like not too much of a commitment, then it's more likely to happen. So you want to think in terms of that. But if you're at 2,000 subscribers and you see someone 3,000 subscribers, it's okay to reach out to that person because you guys are somewhat close in subscriber base. But if you have 5,000 subs and you're reaching out to someone with 200,000, it might not be as likely. It's still possible. I'm not saying don't go for it. I'm just saying think about what that person is thinking about and how you can kind of, in a way, enhance whatever they are doing, because they're more likely to reply to you in that case. Now, that's the benefit of collaboration. Really, there is no competition on YouTube. There's only collaboration, because there's so many people. There's billions and billions of people out there. I think there's 1.5 billion YouTube users every month that are logged in watching at least an hour of video. I just read that recently. I thought that was very interesting. And if you collaborate, you're immediately giving yourself the ability to put yourself out there onto other platforms and vice versa. Make it a win-win for everybody.
and that's when it becomes powerful. So
yeah, real quick, I think the way Aaron reached out to me is like, it's such a perfect example of how to do it. And I want to share my own story where there was a YouTuber, I'm not going to say his name, but he has like probably 500,000-600,000 subscribers, way more than I do. And I didn't reach out and say, hey, can we collab? He had a certain video where he was sort of expressing a problem he was having, a problem that I knew very well and thought I could help. So without even the intention of wanting to collab, I sent him an email and said, hey dude, and I gave him like a nice long email of information that I thought would help the situation he was expressing on YouTube. And then in return he said, hey, yeah man, it would be cool, we'll meet up, we'll collab. So he kind of offered it back just out of the sort of like that natural human reciprocity sort of thing that we have. We just want to be, we want to reciprocate. But that's the way you want to approach people. It's very important because the collaborations are very powerful, and if you go about them the right way, you can really see huge jumps in your growth. Okay, my friends, I hope you enjoyed and benefited from our video. We're going to peace out and go get some lunch. We're starving. I hope you guys all have an amazing day. And don't forget to check out our free training down below. It's really jam-packed with a lot of solid information about how to grow your online business, how to really get these spikes in YouTube. There's a link right at the top of the description box. Check it out, and we will see you all next time. Have an amazing day. Peace, love, and namaste.